Caffeine, my favorite topic. Caffeine is more hurting or helping? How many of you had a coffee just now? Okay. Coffee is good, right? Coffee smells good at least. Coffee also tastes good. But let me show you a data. This was a beautiful experiment which was done on a spider. Okay, the spider was fed with caffeine, marijuana, LSD, and look at what happened. The spider was not able to build the web, which is the best web which is built, of course, normal, when you're not on any of the chemicals. However, do not interpret this slide that I can take marijuana and chuck the coffee, please. This slide is not meant for that. This slide is just to show that caffeine has a lot of boosting capacities in the brain, which can cause a lot of beta, and then it can cause problems as well. So what they say is 1 cup of coffee is equal to 3 cups of water. Please let your system remove the caffeine. So 1 coffee, 3 glasses of water. That should be the norm. Before 5 p.m., finish your coffee if you have to. Do not delay it until the last caffeine. Tea, interestingly, has 2 different benefits. For some people, tannin is relaxing. Like I take the tea and I fall asleep. For some people, it's activating. So that your reticular activating system, RAS, has different receptors, and that is decided by it. So coffee is a very, very loose term. How much milligrams of caffeine? There are some patients whom we treat with caffeine. There is a special headache for which caffeine is necessary. So when we did that study, what is the Costa coffee medium cappuccino versus a Starbucks medium cappuccino? Go and read those milligrams of caffeine. Very different and distinct. So the type of the beans matter. Where is the bean source matters. How is the coffee prepared matter. Is it grounded or non-grounded? Coffee has a lot of nuances to it. So generalizing something is not good. But if there is a strong espresso, strong coffee, Americano that you drink, you ought to remove out of your system. If it's a very light, decaffeinated, less than 7 or 8% of the caffeine, it's fine. That counts as hydration. Okay, so that is how you have to interpret coffee, yes.
Is that guidance linked to what time in the day you're having?
Yes, exactly, as well.
I have a morning coffee.
Which is fine. It's giving you...
For my sleep.
It is giving you beta. It's giving you that kick, which is all right. Before 5 p.m. is all right, so you don't have interference with the sleep. But then we think we do better. Sorry?
Drinking water will overcome the effect.
It slowly will dilute it and remove it. But at least it'll give that initial kick, that kick for working. And sometimes it's more psychological dependence. If you actually try it, and I've done that a couple of times with my patients, it's largely a psychological thing, right? I had my coffee so I can function better. Try it out. It's a good experiment to do it.
Jerry was given coffee up in Navaratri.
Yeah?
And he's got splitting headaches right now.
Right.
What is that?
After taking the caffeine?
No, he's given it up.
Stopping the caffeine. Yeah, withdrawal is very common, right? Suddenly you crash, your caffeine crashes in the brain. So
Is that a psychological dependency?
No, it's a physical dependency. It will go away. If you just allow it 4-5 days, your body will recalibrate it. So when detoxifications, when you go to these naturopathy centers, they wean you off, right? I go to Jindal every year. They take it away and then I'm like, okay, no tea. But yeah, correct. Somebody was talking about the immunity. Yeah.
So tea makes...
Very good. Yeah.
So the morning when I have waste,
And exactly, that is RAS. There is a center called reticular activating system in the brain. That RAS has different receptors based on the circadian. So when it is a different circadian, it behaves differently. Same thing for me. Tea in the morning wakes me up. Tea in the night makes me sleep. Perfect. It's individualized. There was somebody who was talking about immunity. Yes, Passam was telling me that, he had shingles as he was traveling, and the doctor said, oh, you didn't sleep the previous night? And he says, yeah, a couple of nights, right? So natural killer cells have been the most studied for the sleep deficit. When you have a large amount of sleep deficit, your natural killer cells drop. In fact, there is a big study which was done on flu shots. This is the largest or the longest studies, it's a beautiful, appreciable study. They studied people who took flu shot with a full night's sleep, 8 hours, and people flu shot with 5 hours. The potency of the same flu shot dropped by 50%. Just one single flu shot. So we think flu shot was the same, everything was the same. What happened in the sleep? All those chemicals, everything what has to regenerate, the immunoglobulins, IgA, IgG, natural killer cells, T lymphocytes. There's so many things happening for the immunity as well with the sleep. People have multiple sclerosis. We see patients with multiple sclerosis. We see patients with a lot of narcolepsy, so many conditions. Immunity generally is often a play because of the sleep disturbance as well. So this is a beautiful study. I love this study. She did a splendid recommended thing. What she studied was, she studied people who were not sleeping, and then their caloric consumption was measured. People who went off for sleep, so she started to reduce the number of the hours. So some people were 8, and then she made 7, and then 6, and then 5. The people in the 5 groups, on an average, took 600 calories more than the other group. Not just because they were awake and bored. There was a reason behind it. In the brain, you start to reverse engineer the chemicals for increasing the appetite when your sleep is not there. So your body thinks, oh, I'm not supposed to be sleeping. I have to be active. So I need to start processing all over again. And in that all over again, you start to take the more calories or extra calories. And what she studied, she's a brilliant study. What she did was, she studied the type of the foods. And what do you think? Is it going to be carrots and tomatoes? No way.
Sugar.
You go to a movie theater. Why don't they serve you carrots? What do they serve you? Nachos. Why? Why don't they serve you healthy food? You come to watch a movie. Let's bring in healthy food. Not possible, because your brain is already in the state of beta fire. Your brain is active, super active. It wants only the junk. So that is the reason why the junking happens or munching happens when you don't sleep that period of the time. Yes?
Like my mother-in-law always eat better for sleeping if she has banana.
Uh-huh.
How does banana?
So banana has potassium. So potassium is a little relaxant. So magnesium, potassium. I mean, magnesium is slightly overrated. Let's put it that way. A lot of people, I think somebody was telling that something which comes out in the news, internet, then it becomes sensational for a lot of time. Right now, ADHD is very sensational. A lot of people walk to my office and say, I think I have ADHD. Okay, go, let's do your brain scan and figure it out whether you have an ADHD or not. So people, this is called subliminal messaging, by the way. So a lot of times when you watch television and suddenly a McDonald's ad pops up, what do? I was talking to a young crowd, and I said, do you go and eat McDonald's? She said, no, I talabat it. I said, okay, perfect. Yes.
What about ashwagandha?
Ashwagandha, KS60. 6 is little better than ashwagandha, but it's an adaptogen.
Is it better than magnesium?
It is not classified as one of the relaxants. It's an adaptogen. It allows you to adapt to stress. It is a stress reducer, and it adapts. So it works more on your cortisol levels. It works more on your adrenals as compared to the brain. As a side effect of that, you get relaxed, obviously, because your stress is less. So it's a different classification. Ashwagandha has been studied quite significantly in the literature. KS60, and these are all the information that my patients teach us, right? So we go ahead and KS66 or 60. There's one of the formulations. There are 2 formulations, in fact. So it's a beautiful formulation which is available as well. It's a supplement. Same like your ashwagandha. There's also powder form and everything exactly the same. Aloe vera has been studied in a few studies as well, right? There used to be one, so when you study these Himalayan monks, who stay on Himalayas and Everest, and when they do all these practices, they can go without sleep for many days. They can go without food for many days. There are special flowers which grows there. Once you take that gives you that. So these are special, powerful organic chemicals, which is...
What about
lion's mane is good for energy, memory, focus, attention. Yeah.
prevents Alzheimer's?
And those are all a little bit far outstretched. We don't have large data yet on that. Same thing with Bacopa, same thing. We don't have much of the data. Omega-3, exactly the same. We don't have much data. Sleep banking is not possible, okay? So don't think I am going to sleep more and then I'm going to go party for a few days and then I'm going to come back. No, that's not possible.
Sorry, you just said only here.
Yes, on the sleep. As relation to the sleep, whether it makes you sleep, omega or memory. Memory is coming a little bit, not too far outstretched, but omega-3 has little more from the atherovascular properties, so preventing strokes, preventing vascular diseases and all.
Whether you said sleep banding is not possible, let's say, for travelers. Night you're not sleeping well because of work or anything.
Yeah.
One night, then you're on Monday, like
Crash sleep.
8, 9, 10 hours, feel better than.
Would you be able to prevent it? You anyways do. That's your natural body's reset mechanism. I'm talking of prior. I want to party the next week. So let me start, banking it for now. So I will take it as a debt. That's not possible. You already have a credit and then you have to exhaust it, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's a classical thing. In future, we will be able to do a lot of things with sleep. In fact, watch what he says about brain net. It's going to be a very different future that we are going to have.
So
Yes.
say that.
Yes, of course.
Catching up on sleep is okay.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to...
BrainNet could be the next.
Yeah, catching up on sleep is good. It is automatic. It will happen.
But does that cancel out the deficit?
Not really.
So is there adverse effects also?
There is adverse effect as well, but something is better than nothing. You're at least trying to rest, rejuvenate. You're trying to heal. So the point is, do not disturb your sleep as long as possible, as far as possible. But then there are travelers. There are people who have meetings and all, which is all right. But taking care of that circadian, taking care of that is fine. So yes, in times when you have not been resting and you're catching it up, it's all right. You can. Hear this. This is fascinating.
Memories can now be uploaded and downloaded. This makes possible BrainNet. BrainNet could be the next step in the evolution of the internet. Instead of zeros and ones, instead of text, you'll put emotions, feelings, sensations, memories. Teenagers will go crazy. Teenagers put happy faces at the end of every sentence. Why bother to do that when you can put the emotion of your first dance, your first kiss, your first whatever, right there on the internet? And so in the future, when you walk into a room, you will mentally command the internet. You'll take dictation mentally. You'll turn things on, turn things off, communicate with other people. People will think of you as a wizard of some sort, mentally communicating with everything around you. That's BrainNet. And then biotech is being digitized now. We can create a human body shop. We can create from your own cells, so there's no rejection mechanism. We can create skin, bone, cartilage, noses, ears, blood vessels, heart valves, bladders. Complete windpipes can be grown in the laboratory. The next organ to be grown, by the way, is the liver. So for all you alcoholics in the audience, take heart. We may be able to grow your next liver. So even the economy is now being digitized into something I call perfect capitalism. You see, capitalism is based on supply and demand. But you don't know who's cheating you when you buy something. You don't know what the profit margin is. In the future, your contact lens will scan everything in a store, tell you who's cheating you, tell you who has the best product, what is the profit margin on every single thing that you can scan.
So we will be able to grow also possibly some sleep circadians. We will be able to instill a lot of memory programming will happen. AI is helping a lot with the data, right? With AI, there's a huge revolution. So all those data that you guys give it in Aura and all, it's always getting studied and something else will come up and it's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, please remember my sleep rhythm is not your sleep rhythm. We are going to do some interesting quiz about what is your chronotype. How many of you know your chronotype? No? Okay, and then we will go on to Yoga Nidra. So let's see what is a chronotype, by the way. Chronotype, so we are all aware about I'm a morning lark. My mom is a morning lark. 5 o'clock she wakes up and then I can never wake up, then my dad is also. So everybody in the home has different chronotypes, right? Why is chronotype important? It is very important because the energy levels, and there's a beautiful study which is done. Let me show you what happens with the energy levels. There are 4 types. There is lion, dolphin, bear, and wolf. Lion, the first thing in the morning, 4 o'clock, their energy is all up. By the 6, 7, 9, they're all, Melina is our lion, right? By 9 o'clock, she's all up there. And then when they told me that you are taking a session at 8 o'clock, I said, 8 o'clock? I'm a bear. My energy would start to come in only at 12, where I'll be possibly giving it away. So, okay, so thank you, despite that. And then dolphins have a very weird, irregular schedules. And then there is something called the wolf. They do not wake up until the night. About 6 p.m., they wake up and then they're done. They're night, 3, 4, they're all up there. So this is the chronotype. Now, most people are bears, are good for 9 to 5 kind of jobs where they peak at 11, 12, 2, 3 coffees before that, 2, 3 teas after that. But people who are lions is early morningers. And my boss always has been a lion, unfortunately. So he's always before me in the office. And I'm like, God, please make him a bear. Please make him a bear. That's my prayer. So why don't you find out what is your chronotype? I'm going to put up a quiz here. And it's a very short, small, interesting quiz to figure out your chronotypes. And it's so interesting. God has his own ways, right? You never marry your same chronotype. You always marry the wrong chronotype. I wish that was also mapped before the marriages. Janampatri. Oh, what's your chronotype? Oh my God, okay, I'm going to have it. So please see if this is working for you. So this is very important. For the bear, for the lion, let's go with the lion because lion's energy kicks in by 6 a.m. And then it sort of peaks, built by 9, and then it sort of drops down. But for a bear, it peaks by 9 and then sort of goes on 12, 2, 3, and then drops. For a wolf, it does not get on until quite a while, 6 p.m., and then builds it up.
And dolphin is?
Dolphin is variable. Goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. It's okay to have a dolphin. Everything is fine as long as you are aware, right? We talked about it. Aware, care, and dare. All right. What is the best? You are? Wolf. Oh, you are the only one wolf in the... So I'm going to call you at 9 p.m. And okay, I'm going to have you most attention.
Bear.
Bear. Super. Awesome. Bear. Most of it are bear. Some are dolphins. Okay, can I move on? Lots to cover and we need a yoga nidra. What is the best sleeping position? There is a beautiful saying, a bogi. So there's something in Sanskrit called bogi, rogi, and yogi. Bogi is who is consuming a lot of things or who is indulgent. Rogi is who is sick. And then yogi is who is in the perfect state of mind and health. A bogi sleeps on the belly. So if you sleep on the belly, you're more indulgent. A rogi, which is sick people, sleep more on the back, and yogis sleep on the sides. Side sleeping is the best sleeping position. In fact, the glymphatic system that we talked about is most active when you're sleeping on the side. There is a science behind left and right also. When Krishnesh comes in, we'll be hearing it from them. Should you have an alarm and snooze? Please, no, big no. When suddenly the alarm rings, delta to beta, your brain is all fired. So that's not a good idea to have a sudden wake up. There is a study which is saying that the negative impact of hitting a snooze button, you can increase the rate of cardiovascular problems just by having an alarm which shouts at you, right? Optimal sleeping temperature, what is that? It should be cooler. Somebody talked about it, right? It should be cooler. 60 to 65. No, this is Fahrenheit. What is the centigrade? There will be some people who are very good at that. I think you are very good at it, though. Okay. See, why they talk about it in Fahrenheit is because your core temperature is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. So you want it to drop about 20 to 30 points so that you can sleep well. And 60, yeah, that is fine. Now, Lakshmi was talking to me about this 8 sleep. There's something where you adjust the temperature. It drops your body's temperature. Oh, by the way, 12 is not allowed. Okay, 12 is bad. So do not keep it to 12. 12 to 15, you have a lot of problems with the muscles. So don't keep your AC under 15. But I think it comes down to 17 and 18 degree.
What if you like that?
Exactly. There are some people who like warmer, but that's not good for sleep efficiency. I like warmer, but it's not good for sleep efficiency. That's why you nearly look at this cooler nights, stronger days. Unfortunately, that's the truth, that you need to keep it cooler. You need to have because the body's entire metabolism slows down. You want only the brain to be active. You don't want it to be warm so that it utilizes energy in pushing the physiology. You just want it to rest. You want to shut down.
What about the
Type of bed also matters. There is something called the grounding mattress.
There are beds like Casper can go here without door.
Yeah. Yes.
What is so special?
There are many things which are special about it. One of them, it is grounded. So grounding, of course, the cheapest way to go and ground is walk barefoot. Why? What happens is there's something called the shamanic frequency, 7 hertz, and your brain's alpha is 7. The moment you walk barefoot on a beach or on the ground, automatically your alpha 7 comes in. Same thing. When you have that mattress, there is a beautiful footballer who has prepared that mattress. In fact, he works with our lab as well. Beautiful. So he didn't tell me what he's doing. So he says, Doc, why don't you lie down on this bed? And the moment I lied down, he changed some settings and said, what are you feeling? I said, super relaxed. What is happening? It's alpha. Can somebody put up my brain scanner? It was alpha.
There are grounding mats now.
Yes, grounding mats as well. But grounding mats versus what he's telling is why they are super expensive, because they tweak your rhythm as well. So they can physiologically change that. No idea. Grounding sheets, do they work?
How's the bed? Yeah.
Yes, they do work because they're allowing to have a negative ions which gets away. I was telling Lakshmi, what is the real reason for grounding? Why should I ground? Because I want all the negative ions to go away. So de-stresses.
That on your sleep or grounding?
Grounding during the day is perfect. It's natural. It's sunlight as well. There are a lot of elements that you take in. But if you can't, now, I mean, we are all indoors, right? We're talking of Dubai. So, yes, at least ground at night. I have a grounding pillow, which just is a little this. But when I studied that pillow with this kind of digital this and all, again, you have to plug it, right? There's a little earthing which comes in. So, grounding is a big, big topic. But yes, if you guys want to use it, use it. There's no harm. 60 to 67 Fahrenheit. 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. Do not keep less than 15 your AC room temperature. 12, a big no-no. 12, a big no-no.
They see, which, usually 22 max.
Yeah, it will be. Oh, you come to our laboratories, freezing cold. You get inside a hospital. Oh my God, you get into a theater. Oh, especially our laboratories. Oof, you'll be. So there's a big study which is done on weighted blankets. Around 7 kilos is 6.8 is an average standard. Some people with autistic spectrum, with ADHDs, you can't relax, you're feeling too stressed. That is one of the nuances. If you tell me one non-negotiable thing for life, I can get rid of computer as well. I don't mind, I can live a non-digital nomadic life. I'm perfectly all right with that, but not without a weighted blanket. I just can't fall asleep. So when I go to the room, the first thing that I check is the weight of the blanket. And there are now ways in which you can instill extra weights. There are special blankets and mattresses available where you can put an extra weight as well. Yes?
No alarm.
No alarms. So biological clock, train your brain, prime it. I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. Watch the clock. Your biological clock is much better way to wake up. Or physiological, biological walking clocks. I have one sitting at the back. My mom wakes me up. So you can just tell them, why don't you, and it should be very gentle. I never tell my dad to wake up. He'll just say, wake up. And I say, again, that's a beta. So you have to really take it gently, Yes.
You talked about grounding, right? Walking on beach for purpose. I understand that can also help with jet lag, reset circadian rhythm.
One boot, 100%. It does.
And just generally sensory stimulus from nature.
Yes.
Swim in the sea.
Yes,
Like this.
absolutely.
How does that work?
There are 3 things which is quintessential for health. One of them is sunlight, the real light. Okay. The second one is grounding because you produce that alpha rhythm. And the third one is oxygen. So pure oxygen as long as you can breathe. So these are the 3 pillars. So going out is always the good thing to do, provided it's not polluted. Hot baths. Very big trials have been done on hot bath. When you take a hot shower, your internal core temperature drops, which is what you want to fall asleep. So great thing to have. My mom is absolutely non-negotiable routine for her. And I didn't wonder why does she do that. But she wants the quick temperature to drop and your REM, non-REM percentage can increase by 15%. That is what the trial shows, that you can sleep a little deeper when you take a hot shower. Somebody says, I drink hot milk. I said that you are increasing the core temperature inside possibly, So it's not equated to that. iPads or books. Oh my God, there's so much of data on the blue light. Oof. Look at this one trial and I'll leave it to you guys to decide. The melatonin suppression was over 50% in people who use the digital devices with the blue light. I'm sure you guys all are using the blue light filter. Please, if you're not using, please use the blue light filter. Switch on, right, in the night. Even if you have to read. As far as possible, as it's in your phone. It's a feature in your phone. When you go scroll up, it's called the blue light filter. When you put that filter on at the night, at least you're cutting off the only enemy for the melatonin to not get secreted is blue light. Yellow light is fine. So you can sometimes wear your yellow glasses. You see people walking around with yellow glasses, right? Yellow and reddish. It's all detox because that light is allowing your melatonin to not be affected. That's the reason why you do see that. So please do that. There's a little iPhone and your Android. Both of them are having that. There's a big study which says practice makes perfect, but there was a study which was done on piano players. The night before, when they slept better, that practice had 25 to 30% more efficiency. So we can just change that. Practice does make better, but sleeping with the practice makes it even better. So I think before our major things, yes, yesterday night I did sleep well. NBA players' performance was studied. Same thing for the footballers. Same thing has been studied for Olympiads, Olympic champions. If they slept better the previous night, I think there was a football team which was studied, and that study is absolutely, again, a spectacular study. The team which took good decisions, they were up there. They knew their game was the people with the perfect non-REM-REM combination, what was found. So you can have an increase of performance also with the sleep. Insomnia, we have covered it. Who are all these people? Why are they here? Why are they here? They're young and beautiful. Okay. We are in the sleep class. Yes, they're all peak performers, for sure. I wish some of their brains are in my lab. Not yet. If you guys know them, please refer. These are all the people who suffer from depression. And these are all the people who did not take sleep seriously before their depression. And then they are the sort of the ambassadors of now talking. So if you see most of the faces which we see now, so they've all battled it out. And there's a big, even a review of literature with all their comments, etc., and all what you will find on the net. Okay. How do I measure my sleep efficiency? Very, very important. There's a lot of polysomnographs that we can do in the lab. If you come to the lab, we have a brain scanner as well. We can know how you're thinking, what is your peak performance, what is your frontal lobe. A lot of things can be done. But all of you have Aura. How many of you are wearing Aura or the sleep tracker? Okay, how do you measure? How is your efficiency? What are the points that you see? There are 7 points which you want to see. Okay, what is the total quantity? What is the total non-REM, deep sleep? What is the total hours that you spend in deep sleep? What is your heart rate variability? More the heart rate variability, better it is for you. Less stress. So very important for you to measure that. The second half of the night, please study the REM. First half of the night, please study the non-REM. What is your latency? You should fall asleep within 30 minutes. If it's not happening, you're not. Something has to change, possibly caffeine or your digital device exposure. The frequency of waking, and Manav, you can study this with your drinking, with your water drinking. If you are waking up 0 to 5%, under 5%, it's all right. The disturbance in the sleep because of the intermittent waking, what is happening.
About latency, sometimes you sleep within 3 minutes. It's not good.
Correct. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. That's called narcolepsy. That is also problematic because the moment you hit the bed and then you go to sleep, there's some problem. Your stages of sleep is not happening. You should go from beta, then you should drop to theta, you should in between little alpha, and then you drop into delta. If you take a reverse dip, that's not good for your brain because that means you're not modulating. No, but less than 2 minutes is technically less than 2 minutes. There are people, we bring him into doing the EEG, and by the time my technician says, he's gone, he's fallen asleep. And we see the sleep patterns in our EEG, not good. So somewhere 5 to 7 minutes is great. And generally, if you watch how much is your latency? Are you been able to monitor that, Anju? Yeah, what's that, latency? No, what is that? 20 minutes? What is your latency? It's okay, 15. Generally, when I look at the data from the watches, I generally have people having 15 to 20, which is all right, which is perfectly fine. Okay.
To see the sort of when you get out, you don't get up there when you wake up.
Correct. Okay. So I think it's time for Yoga Nidra. Yes, 100% now.
Coming back to the point of blue light, folks.
Yes.
Very clear.
Yes.
A lot of us know we shouldn't do it, but we'll
end up doing it.
If you still fall asleep reasonably quickly, 5, 7 minutes, whatever, does that mean that it didn't affect you? Or does it mean that actually that blue light, yes, you fall asleep, you don't have insomnia, but the quality of sleep?
Correct. When they studied the efficiency, there is a change in the efficiency pattern and architecture pattern also. So there are studies which says that it's okay, latency is just one component of it. What is happening with the REM? What is happening with the non-REM? So architecture disturbance can happen with the blue light. So ideally, I read. I really literally pick up a book and read. And that is the best thing to do, right? Because book is visual. There is sensation. All the senses you are taking. There it's an idle rhythm which you are generating. Modulation of the brain waves is all that is important. Let me show you one slide which I did after Bhramari. There is this one simple practice. And I think you all look tired. This will quickly up your beta levels and then we'll go into Yoga Nidra. Sit straight, please, all of you. This was a technique this is my brain, by the way. We studied in the lab, pre and post. This is before, and this is many years back, I've done a lot of tweaks. I wanted alpha to be more, I wanted theta to be less. So I kept on modulating a lot of this. This is pre and this is post. Before, and this is one single technique, you are yoga this, right? So it's called humming bee technique. Humming bee or Bhramari. Sit straight. I'll need your help to hold this. What this will do is, there is a little beta. Beta is fast rhythm. You guys know enough neuroscience now. High beta, yellow. The scale is from blue to red. So blue is low, red is high. After one single technique, look at the levels of high beta. This is where the connections in the red that you're seeing is connected, and look at it now, hyper-connected. There was just one single thing which made me more focused, more attentive, more concentrated. Let's do that all together. Sit straight. Nice deep breath, diaphragm. We should breathe from diaphragm. You keep breathing from the chest and all the problems come in. So nice deep breath. And then king is the letter. What you say ing, what you say from your palate is what we will stress on. Good. One more time. Good job. What are you feeling now? Quiet? Calm? Clear? Yes, very good. That's a brilliant, because as you keep doing it, you will see yourself clear because of this beta. That's it. All we did in the laboratory was take this one single thing and quickly scan the brain. Don't you think it's just amazing? It's like a little quick hack, And then let me show you what else did we do. That was also very interesting before I give it to Krishnesh. Is he online? Wonderful. So this is what we did with meditation. We wanted to see how fast the theta goes. This is the theta here. Theta is the little trance wave that you have in the yellow here, or lightish orange. Just after 5 minutes, so we have something called the limitless meditation. We have devised our own little music and how that can create theta. And look at this. 5 minutes and quickly a dose of theta. One humming bee and a quick dose of beta. If you keep modulating these brain waves, eventually, as she mentioned, clarity, focus, attention, memory, mood regulation, emotional regulation, prefrontal cortex development, all that comes in. Beautiful way to
Share the meditation.
this. Yes, I will share the meditation. It's a beautiful piece, which is just 5 minutes. Do exactly, and maybe we can do your pre and post as well.
So that was to sort of revive you.
Yes.
So what about the 478?
478 is to calm you down. It's a good for anxiety. So all you do is take 4 in, hold for 7, and then exhale 8. Remember the principles. Breathing, and what we call it pranayam, because prana is the vital force. It's not just breath work. It's vital force that you are controlling over. In 478, 8 in 4. So it's 1:2. When you take a deep breath and you exhale, exhalation should be double. It should always be double of what you inhale. There is box breathing, there is Wim Hof, there are so many different varieties, even in the Anulom Vilom. When you take from one nose, remove from other. That is balancing the brain. Okay, that is for balance. Amazing stuff. But those kind of amazing stuff we learn from Krishnesh. As he's a yogi, as I said, he does all these wonderful. Can we have him up on the screen? So he does all these wonderful things. And by the way, I'm going to share with you the last, Lakshmi was part of it, so she's aware. The last Yoga Nidra that we did, this is the results of one of the persons. This was his prior sleep. His data, this was his prior sleep. He sleeps about light sleep 4 hours, REM about 1 hour, deep sleep was 42 minutes, and average sleeping time was 7 hours. This was his prior night. And this is post Yoga Nidra. What is the duration he did Yoga Nidra? 34 minutes. And how much deep did he sleep? 31 minutes. Same thing happened to, no, it's not Jaydeep's, but almost exactly what Jaydeep also had the same experience. So in 34 minutes of Yoga Nidra, he slept for 31 minutes deep, which he could not do in a 7 hours night. Isn't that incredible?